Good evening, everyone, and welcome to our season finale in the Scientist Reverse Grid League. Season 5 here in the Einstein League. We have two absolute bangers ahead of us in Jeddah and Spain, the last two races for the season. And there's still a lot to play for. There's really... The Drivers' Championship itself has been decided last week. Professor Zoo is our new champion in the Einstein League. But Casto and Walterby, they are fighting for P2. Casto is right now in P2 with 291.5 points, and Walterby in P3 with 285. So only 6.5 points. And we have a lot to play for. Two races plus driver of the day by Codemasters, plus driver of the day by the community, and the fastest lap. So still a lot in here. Nick and Spooner are fighting for P5 in the Drivers' Championship. Nick with 207.5 and Spooner with 200. Rob right behind with 199. So these boys are fighting for a lot. But they're not only fighting for an individual position in the Drivers' Championship. There's a way more bigger fight going on in the Constructors' Championship. Alpine right now is in P1 with 412 points. 4.5 points behind is Williams. 407.5. It's 4.5 points. But that's not enough. Haas has 399.5. They're only 8 points behind Williams. And then McLaren with 384 is also still in the mix. They're only 28 points behind Alpine. Everything is still in here. But we have also a huge setup. We don't have any reserves in tonight because it is the season finale. That means when we look at the grid, we will only have Professor Zoo from Haas in. We have Spooner and Nick from Williams in. We have Sebastian and Casto from Alpine. And only Walterby from McLaren. So Alpine and Williams, both drivers in, both keen to score biggies here. And at Spain, of course. And Walterby and Professor Zoo are fighting on their own to get most of the points. Worst position for Walterby, of course. He has pressure on both ends. He's P3 in the Drivers' Championship. He's 6.5 behind Casto. And he needs to get points for himself and for his team to climb up the rankings. So we have 4 teams who can still be Constructors' World Champion in the Einstein League. And after this race in Jeddah, we will do a small and quick update so that you all know where people are with their points after race 1, and race 2 gets a little bit of extra spice due to that. So we're coming back to just Jeddah, to call it like that. Mumram is starting on pole position in the Ferrari. Professor Zoo behind him in P2. Durdan starting in P3 behind Moshe, Walterby, Spooner, Sebastian, D'Cunha, Casto P9, then Nick, Rob, and Eskimo. We'll also have a look at the tire choice. So we see a little mix here. Professor Zoo is starting on mediums in P2. Then we have Walter and Spooner in P5 and P6 also mediums. And Nick in P10 on mediums. We'll also take a look, of course, at the penalties, the telemetry, and you have the full track map available on the bottom right, so you can follow your favorite driver around this tricky track, because this one is a difficult one. It's the fastest street track on the F1 calendar, and it's a nasty one. It can be a nasty one. But let's see if everyone is prepared for Constructors' War here at Jeddah. 5 red lights out right now. Oh, Professor Zoo, not a good start, I think. But he somehow saves it. Durdan himself didn't have a goodie. No good, no damage too, I think. Castor and Walter are already fighting. Castor P6, Walter P7. And Castor with a jump of 3 positions in. He's going for the 4th one, cutting the corner to gain the position. Let's see if he gives Moshe the position back or if he's forced to do exactly about that. But it seems like he just got away with that by the game. And he's attacking Durda and Spooner. Spooner going down the inside. Aye! Castor and Durda touch there. Castor going for the position. Oh, Mumram had to cut the corner, and Professor Zoo is right there. He's next to him, and that's a biggie because he's on mediums. And if he wins that race, he gets the biggest points in this race for Haas. And Haas is still in the mix to win the World Championship in the Constructors. Durdan is just going down positions now, down to P9. Everyone overtook him now. Eskimo the next one behind him. And Spooner's overtaken Mumram. They're in a good fight here. Spooner wants to have him because he is also on mediums. And he's fighting for Williams. Nick himself lost the position. Maybe he has damage. Yeah, and he's coming into the pits. Start on mediums. Not a good thing. Because you start on softs, you can easily go onto the medium tire. Oh, we have a big fight here. Spooner, Mumram and Castor. Both Alpines in very good positions. P4 and P5 at the moment. And Castor's trying to overtake his opponents everywhere on track. He's not making an exception here. Oh, and Eskimo's out of this race. Eskimo to DNF. We have yellow flags in sector 1. And Castor just overtook Mumram. And Rob is coming for a surprise overtake against Sebastian, who was pinched behind Mumram there. He was still in P4. Rob now up to P5. Oh, Mumram completely forgot to take that corner. Oh, I think we'll see a lot of penalties here. Oh, and Castor's flying. He's going for Spooner too. He's on softs. He can fly at the moment. And he's absolutely doing it. He just overtook Spooner. I think Castor's really, really close to get a penalty here. He has to calm down a little bit, but at the same time he has to push to get into the DRS of Professor Zoo or to get Spooner out of his DRS. Walterby just overtook Mumram, and Moshe's trying to do the same side by side. That doesn't... Oh, it ended very well. Nicely done, boys. Nicely done. Mumram P8 as a result. And Walterby and Moshe overtook him here, and what Moshe is trying to go for P6 here against Walterby. I backed off last moment to not create a collision. Good decision. Mumram and Durdan lost the most positions at the moment, 7 and 6 respectively. And Sebastian and Rob are fighting. Sebastian overtook Rob. Oh, Rob is cutting a corner there. Does Rob have damage? Let's see on board when he brakes. He's turning in a lot. Oh yeah, seems like he has damage. There was a lot of understeer. Or maybe it's just the effect of TC medium, I don't know exactly, but yeah, he's not making any corners here. I think he has damage to the left side of his wing. There it is. I think the end plate is gone. That's nasty. He's letting Walterby go. Moshe is also coming up. Maybe he lets him go on the next straight. Yeah, he's cutting that corner. He has no chance. No bloody chance for him. They both have DRS, and Rob is just trying to stay in front of Moshe and just pit. Yeah, the end plate is gone on the left side of his front wing. Only good thing for him is it's already lap 4 and he can easily pit on mediums. That's a good thing. Oh, and Castor just overtook Professor Zoo, and I'm really sorry for not getting that. Well, he got him on the main straight, probably with the help of DRS. And now Castor is in P1. So we now know that he made up that 1.5 seconds within one lap That means he's not only quick, he can only use his tyres here very, very well. So right now, the closest battle on track is Spooner versus Sebastian. Oh, yeah, it just got a little bit smoother for Spooner here, as Sebastian completely went off track, Rob with a 3-second time penalty. I think a lot of guys are already up to 1 or 2 warnings here. I think we'll see a little bit more penalties, and Sebastian is now pressured by Walterby, who's only 2 tenths behind and who has the DRS on him right now. He goes down the inside, overtakes him for P4, but has to be careful at the same time, because in the main straight, Sebastian will have the DRS. Aye, that's a big tank slapper. 40% of ERS left for Sebastian. Walter has more than 70%, and he's really comfortable here. We have yellow flags in sector 3. I think it's dirt on. Yeah, he had a little Spinella, but he saved it. Green flags again, as Castor finally made the jump out of the DRS window against Professor Zoo. We're already on lap 5, so let's see for how long Castor can hold that pace on the softs. I think latest point to pit is around lap 7, lap 8 maybe. Then they're pretty much done. Because it depends on how much you push, of course, but we all know that Castor's pushing pretty fucking hard every time, so his tyres should be done by the end of lap 7. And Sebastian is now following Walterby around the night streets of Jeddah. Let's have a quick look who already took the chance to pit. So already pitted. Nick, the first one from these guys who already have pitted in P8. So let's see when the next guys are coming in. Watch the tires, so the soft runners are of course first to come in, or maybe a medium tire runner who just tries an undercut, make use of the softs. And Sebastian's defending from Walterby here, defending P4, and they're both closing in on Spooner. Castor already has a gap of 2.5 seconds to Professor Zoo, which is big at the moment. And I think he needs that gap, because Professor Zoo on softs will be really, really rapid. And Castor has to defend on mediums. So Walterby just got a 3-second time penalty. The second one right now, together with Rob, who pitted on hard tires. I'm not sure why he did that. Maybe it was a glitch by Codemasters and Jeff. As a wise man once said, in Formula 1, you never know. I'm just taking a quick look at the commentary section. Sluffox, good evening. Lando, how are we too? How are we? So feel free to put a comment in. If you just want to ask a question, go for it. If you want to say something funny or not funny, just go for it. Oh, someone else went for it. Spooner and Walterby are coming into the pits, both on mediums, so they're switching onto softs at the end of lap 6. Castor is staying out for another lap, and both are doing now the undercut on Sebastian, who's staying out for another lap on the softs. But Walter and Spooner out now on fresh soft tires. So this is crucial now. We're following around the track with Sebastian to see how he takes the corners, where he goes onto the throttle, and how much ERS he is using at the moment. Rob is pitting again now, probably for softs too. maybe hope for a safety car, which has not come out yet. And there's one interesting fact now. We have Walter B in P5, and Spooner, who was right behind him, is now around 7 seconds behind. He has Nick between himself and Walter, so there must have been a mistake by Spooner, and I think Castor's coming in. Castor is coming in. He got a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. That's quite horrible, to say the truth. In all honesty, it's quite shit. Sebastian is staying out. Professor Zoo also coming in, switching on softs. The gap was 3.5 seconds. So, worst case scenario for Castor, he has to put 1.5 seconds between himself and Professor Zoo while Zoo is on softs. But it's a it's like a man-made problem. He did it on his own. He spun to the pit lane. That's his own issue. So he's putting the pressure on himself. Durdan with a 3-second time penalty. Sebastian now in the lead at the moment, but he hasn't pitted yet. The only guy together with Durdan who haven't pitted yet. So Walter B, Durdan and Rob, the only ones with a penalty at the moment. Castor with the 5-second penalty for speeding into the pit lane. So that's not so good. But for the moment, Professor Zoo is not gaining a lot. He has a purple sector too, but he's not gaining a lot on Castor. So he must be pushing really hard. He's using ERS there. But let's see where Sebastian will come out. He's coming into the pits right now. Let's following in to see if he's speeding. Oh, that's... Oh, it looked like it was pretty quick, but he nailed it. He absolutely nailed. Walter B is now around the last corner. He's coming down the main straight. Now I think he will have Sebastian. He will overtake him. He overtakes him right now. But I think he can stay in front of Nick and Spooner. And Nick is letting Spooner go. That's teamwork. Both on softs, but Spooner, of course, on fresher softs. And you have to keep in mind that Spooner and Nick are both fighting for P5 in the championship, in the Drivers' Championship. But they want to win the Constructors. And I think Nick has in mind that Spooner could be a bit quicker. Let's see. When they're FPS, Nick's softs are 6 lap old. Spooners are 1 lap old, so it's the right decision to do that. Really good teamwork by both of them. Nick is securing P6 and Spooner is going for maybe more. He's pushing hard now. He's gaining on Sebastian, so any position helps him. But Alpine getting biggies here. Casto in P1 at the moment, Sebastian in P4. But with the penalty, Professor Zoo will go ahead, and at the same time with Walter B's penalty, Sebastian could go ahead, but he has to gain more places. So the Constructors' Championship is still not decided. Everything is still in it. We have Haas and McLaren with outsider chances, but both on the podium right now. And if they both get Casto, this championship is wide open. Cunha and Moshe fighting for P7. Cunha with DRS at the moment, but I think he's not close enough to do the overtake right now. Maybe he just wants to save some ERS behind Moshe. They're both on mediums. Moshe on way more fresher mediums. But as long as Cunha can go with the pace and stay in his DRS, he can save his ERS and maybe attack him on the last lap to get the position in a kind of easy way with old tires. And Professor Zoo is still 3.4 behind Casto at the moment. No more penalties. Right now, Rob is coming into the pits again. Maybe he's stealing the fastest lap from someone. Could be a huge deal. at the end of the day. And let's say who could get driver of the day right now. Oh, that looks like Castro. He gained 8 positions. That's another biggie for Alpine if he gets that secured. Well, it's not over yet. It's not over yet. The race is far from being over, and this whole championship is still open. Spooner is now 3 tenths behind Sebastian. So the switch between Nick and Spooner was absolutely brilliant. Spooner going for it, staying on the racing line, round the outside, side by side. Sebastian breaking deep, but he made the corner easily. And Spooner is now right on his rear. He's coming for it. Sebastian defending. Oh, I think they touched a little bit. You have to be careful, boys. Make an intelligent and smart overtake. That's all you need. You're on soft, Spooner. Don't risk anything. It's for the team. Oh, we have an unexpected development here. Professor Zoo is now 4 seconds behind Castro. So Castro somehow managed to gain 7 tenths on Professor Zoo. This would be huge if he gets him out of the 5-second window. First of all, Spooner has to manage to get P4, steal it from Alpine to push Williams a little bit further in the constructors' rankings. There's so much at stake. Staying on the racing line again. Sebastian going down the inside. He's not close enough to make the move. Oh, Spooner lost a lot of speed there. And he's under attack by Sebastian. He lets him go. Penultimate lap. Penultimate lap. Lap 12 of 13. While they're fighting, Nick is getting a little bit closer. Oh, Spooner going for it. He saw that Sebastian took a wider line. Oh, they're both really aggressive. It's nice to see, but they have to keep it clean. And Professor Zoo is losing more time on Castro. 4.6. Castro's pushing really hard. He's on 46% ERS. And Professor Zoo is pushing now. He sees this one fading away. Oh my god. And Nick only 1.8 behind these two now. So if Spooner manages to stay behind Sebastian for this lap and get Nick closer into the DRS, Sebastian on the last lap, that would be a huge deal for Williams. The gap is down to 1.2. Oh, it's getting really close. Nick only on 70% ERS. He's pushing so hard now. He just wants to stay with him. And Spooner is now going for the overtake into the last corner. He needs a better exit. That is a way better exit than on the lap before. But Sebastian is right there. He's using all of his ERS. Sebastian too. Oh my god. But there's still a big ERS zone at the end of this lap. It's the last lap. And Nick is coming closer. Professor Zoo, 4.2 behind Castro. And Nick is gaining 1 second. He needs to come into the DRS. He needs to have it to stay with both of them. Professor Zoo is decreasing the gap, so it looks like he's going for the... Oi, 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 oi. That was almost a Max Verstappen move. Around the... No, not around the outside, going down the inside there. But that... Oh, Nick is 1.9 behind. Maybe he has damage. Maybe hit the wall somewhere. You can't see any damage on his car, but we're jumping back to Spooner, who's still only 3 tenths behind Sebastian. 57% ERS left. Sebastian 33. The gap between Castro and Zoo 4.6. And that's the moment. Spooner is going for Castro with another penalty. Oh, it's not another penalty. It's the 5-second one. Professor Zoo wins the race. Castro P2. Walter B P3. And oh, Sebastian goes down the inside. Side by side. They clipped him. He clipped him. Sebastian is round. And Nick got P5 somehow. And now Sebastian has to keep us cool to not lose the position against Acuna. This incident will go into the incident report. I'm sure I didn't see anything unfair there, but it will go into the incident report just to get it reviewed on. That's totally fair play. They can go for that. Easy going. And it wasn't enough for Casto. Casto P2. Sebastian P6. Both Williams P4, P5. McLaren P3. Haas P1. That is spicy. That is so fucking spicy. Mumman, the last guy on track. Round the last corner, coming onto the main straight, and we'll finish that race any second. Dirt on P9, Rob P10, and Mumram finishing P11. Eskimo, our only DNF here at Jeddah. So that was a race where you just could feel the tension between those top 4 teams. They got all the big places. And in a few minutes we know how big these places are and will be. Of course, without any penalties included at the moment. Professor Zoo wins the race here in Jeddah in front of Castro, who got a 5-second time penalty for speeding into the pit lane, and Walter B finishing in P3 for McLaren. That's your podium, boys. And we will see the final results any moment. Here we have it. Zoo in P1, Casto P2, Walter B in P3, Spooner finishes in P4. Then we have Nick in P5, Sebastian in P6, D'Cunha finishing with his Ferrari in P7, P8 goes to Moshe in the AlphaTauri, Durdan finishing in P9. Then we have Rob in P10 and Momram in P11. Eskimo on only DNF, so he will start at the back in Spain. So we have around a 10-minute break. We will go at 9:30 again, but we will stay here because we do the calculations from this points and add them on to the championship points, so we have the most updated version of the points. Just putting in a quick reminder for the guys that we start at 9:30 again. And then we move on to the points. So let's have a quick look. So Professor Zoo gets 25 points. I didn't see who got the fastest lap, unfortunately. But I think Castor got the driver of the day. So Castor will get 20 points plus 1 for the driver of the day. That makes it 21 points for Alpine plus 10 points for Sebastian. So it's 27 for Alpine, which makes it 439 for Alpine. So 439 for Alpine. Then Professor Zoo finished in P1. That means he gets 25 points for Haas. And that means he has 424.5 for Haas. So only 14.5 points behind Alpine. Williams, they had 407.5. Spooner got 15, Nick got 12. That's 27 points, the same amount as Alpine. So with 27, they go to 434 4.5. So nothing has changed between Alpine and Williams after this race. And McLaren, that is Walter B. He got 18 points, and that means he will jump up to 402 with McLaren. So it's pretty obvious that McLaren is now out of the race for P1 in the constructors. We have Alpine on top with 439 points. Williams in P2, 434.5. That's 4.5 points. And Haas has 424.5. This means they have a 14.5 gap, which is also doable. So 3 teams still in for P1 in the constructors, but we'll also take a look at the drivers. So Casto was able to manage to get driver of the day, MP2, that's 21 points. Walter got 18. So Casto increases the gap by 3 points. That means the gap between both of them is not any longer 6.5, it's 9.5 points. Nick and Spooner, they are in P5 and P6 respectively, 7.5 points between them. And Spooner finished 3 points ahead of Nick. So the gap has got a little bit smaller. It's only 4.5 points now between Nick and Spooner. But they will try to work together to get the Constructors' title for Williams. With that, we take a 5-minute break and continue at 9:30 on the dot. Welcome back, everyone, to our second race of the night, the last race of the night, and the last race of this season in the Einstein League. It's race number 24 here in Catalonia, Spain, and we are going on the final one for the fight of the Constructors' Championship. 3 constructors are still able to win this championship. If the calculation was right, or just halfway right, we are in for a treat. We have 2 drivers for Alpine, 2 drivers for Williams, but only 1 driver for Haas. Alpine is leading the championship at the moment, including the points from Jeddah and the Codemasters driver of the day with 439. Williams has 434.5, so the gap is 4.5 points. Both teams have both drivers still in this race. They're going for broke, and that's a good thing. Community driver of the day is not included, and also fastest lap is not included because unfortunately didn't get that on the last race. So still at least 2 points to play for in Jeddah, and we also have a fastest lap here, and we have a Codemasters driver of the day here, and a community driver of the day. So it could all come down to the community driver of the day points, and that will be absolutely spicy. Haas is in P3 at the moment with 424.5 points. So Haas is 14.5 points behind Alpine and 10 points behind Williams. The big disadvantage for Haas is they only have 1 driver in, and that's Professor Zoo. So Professor Zoo needs to win this race, and he has to hope for at least 1 DNF each for Alpine and for Williams, and they have to finish 4 at the back. So a lot has come together for Haas to win this championship, but it's Formula 1. Anything can happen. We've seen it in Abu Dhabi at the season finale last year. So it's all or nothing here in Spain, and let's see if Spain is becoming a spin or a paint track for any of those drivers or teams. You can DNF around here, you can spin around here, but you can also make a perfect strategy work and do some beautiful overtakes. Everything is in here. It's a technical track, it's quick, and anything can happen here. I'm really excited for this final race. So we will take a look at pit stops, tyres, and of course penalties during this race. They could play a huge factor. Speaking of tyres, we only have 1 driver on mediums, and that is Professor Zoo. Everyone else is starting on soft. Professor Zoo is doing the complete opposite to anyone else, and I think that's the right thing to do. It's the only thing to do in his position. As Momram shows all the drivers right now, that is absolutely and go off track around here in Spain on the formation lap. We'll also have a look at the telemetry to see how much ERS is left, and we have the full track map enabled on the bottom right, so you can follow your favorite driver as they come around the last corner now here onto the main straight and into their grid positions. Momram is starting from pole as he finished last in Jeddah. Rob is starting from P2, Durham P3, Moshe P4, De Cunha P5, the first Alpine Sebastian in P6, then both Williams in Nick and Spooner, Walter B in the McLaren in P9, who just showed a big and great fight for the podium in Jeddah, but it's unfortunately not enough for McLaren to stay in the race of the Constructors' Championship. Casto in P10, the other Alpine, and then in the Haas, Professor Zoo, who's fighting on his own for his team. But we now focus on the start here in Barcelona. Momram is starting from P1. Moshe is ghosted somehow. A few cars are ghosted, but I think that will go away. 5 red lights out. And it's a good start by Rob, I think. Oh, there's Williams already coming through. It's Nick. Oh, and there's an Alpine off track, and there's an end plate flying off. Oh, Nick with a brilliant start up to P3. Spooner P5. Let's see. Oh, Mumram spun the other Ferrari out. Oh, there's an Alpine gone. It's Sebastian. Sebastian is in P11. That's horrible for Alpine. And Williams, they're sniffing something. They smell blood in the water. P2 and P3 for both Williams. Castro P4. Professor Zoo up to P8. We only have yellow flags in Sector 1. No safety car. D'Cunha is out of this race after collision. Maybe with Sebastian. I'm not sure. Oh, what a start. So much drama. Castro right behind Spooner. And Spooner is doing anything to defend from Castro here. He has his teammate in front of him who's attacking Rob at the moment. And Williams needs to go for absolutely everything here. Walterby is overtaking Durdan into the last corner. P5 for him. Professor Zoo up to P7. But jumping back to Spooner and Castro, nothing's changed here. Nothing's changed. Spooner still P3, Castro P4, Nick still in P2, half a second behind Rob. They're all on softs. Only Professor Zoo in P7 at the moment is on mediums. His only job right now is to stay within the DRS of the guys ahead of him. He has to overtake them as quickly as possible, as Castro's putting in the fastest sector in Sector 1. Moshe is coming into the pits, pitting for hard tires, as I think it was his end plate that was flying away at the start. So he may have touched someone, or someone may have touched him. Maybe we'll see that after the race in the instant report. You never know. Nick and Spooner still in P2 and P3 respectively. Castro P4. He's pressurizing Spooner at the moment. Another purple one for him. And Professor Zoo up to P6 now. He's coming for Walterby, but he's 2.7 behind. And Castro is pushing really hard to get Spooner here. Oh, he's in the slipstream. He's using ERS. He's going for it. No need to panic right now. It's still Williams P2 and P4. Sebastian is down in P10. So right now as it stands, Williams will be Constructors Champions. But anything could change here. So Nick has lost the DRS on Rob at the moment. That's a huge issue for Williams. A huge one. Castro's already in Nick's DRS and Spooner has lost it on Castro. And Walterby's coming from behind. So Spooner, he has to be careful. He has to push, but not too much, and he has to be careful, but also not too much, because otherwise he's just looking behind, and that's not good. Nick managed to get the DRS on Rob, which helps him a lot in defending against Castro, sets the fastest lap now. And Nick is getting closer to Rob now. And right behind him is Castro. Oh, it's a nice fight. That's what we all asked for. Nothing less. No penalties at the moment for any driver. Rob is still in P1 on lap 417, and Nick had a really big tank slapper there. But he just stays within DRS to Rob. He has Castro right behind. Maybe he's going down the inside. He is going down the inside. That was a dive bomb. And he hit Nick there. They're going side by side. They touch. Oh my god, that's what you don't want to see. That's exactly what you don't want to see. But it was about to happen. The huge dive bomb by Castro, who banged wheels with Nick. And then they touched. Castro touched the rear wheel of Nick. That sent him spinning. But there's still a lot to play for. Castro's in the pits. Castro's in the pits. He maybe has damage from that. So that could be the revenge from Nick just by getting hit, but getting hit like that. So Castro has damage and he's down to P10 now. The wing change cost him about 5 seconds in the pits, and now Nick is up to P4. Oh, he had a big issue there. Professor Zoo is not coming for him. Oh, Nick has big issues. He's P4, but Professor Zoo is right there. He's not giving up on anything. Spooner in P2 because of the little incidents we had there. Walter B P3, Nick P4. Sebastian up to P7 at the moment. He's only 8/10s behind Eskimo, and Professor Zoo on his mediums is now making his way up to Nick. He's going down the inside. He's having a look. Oh, they touched. Oh my god, that was... Yeah, in this case, I have to say that was a little bit dodgy by Professor Zoo, and he's able to do that way better. He's such a clean and good driver. You don't normally see stuff like that from him. It wasn't bad or anything, but just a little bit clumsy. And Nick got a 3-second time penalty, and he's coming into the pits now at the end of lap 6. So let's see where Nick is coming out. That's really, really crucial. Because Castro is in P10 at the moment. Nick has to come out in front of him, otherwise he has a big problem. He's coming onto the mediums. No wing change for him, but Castro's coming down the main straight. He has the speed. He will overtake Nick. He will overtake Nick. There they are. Castro's in front of Nick. Good thing for Nick is he will have the DRS on Castro possibly. Yeah, he's within a second at the moment. Yeah, but Nick will be pretty pissed because of the incident. Maybe that goes into the incident report and can change everything here. But let's not talk about this yet. Nick has a 3-second time penalty, as has Mumram. And we still have 11.5 laps to go here. Walterby is coming closer to Spooner. Only a few 10s behind now. They're all on softs. Only Professor Zoo is on mediums. He's up to P4 now, and Durdan is out. Durdan's out of this race. This could be a safety car. It is a safety car! And that could change absolutely everything. And Spooner is coming in, and Rob! Oh my god, Walterby staying out. He missed the pit entry, but Spooner was about to pit, and he's pitting under safety car conditions. That means he will stay in P2. That is huge. Professor Zoo's coming. Of course he's coming in. But I think he goes onto softs. He has to. There's no other way. King Eskimo coming in and clipping the pit board. That Castro's also coming in, and Nick is staying out. And that's a huge thing now. That's a huge situation. Castro's coming in, possibly for soft tires. Yeah, it is soft for him. Let's see how many positions he will lose. Mumram's coming in. Moshe is not there. So Castro will be in P8. Sebastian P6. Castro P8. Williams. Nick in P5. Spooner P3. But Walterby still has to pit. Good thing for Walterby is that the safety car is in Sector 1. At the end of Sector 1. And Walterby can easily pit now. Maybe he stays ahead. They all have the Delta still on. That could be a huge thing for him. As long as the Delta's on, he can pit and he can stay in front of Rob and Spooner. Oh my god, this is crucial. Of course, he's coming in now. Oh my god, this will be so tight. Walterby is in the pit lane. He's coming into his pit box right now. Rob and Spooner in the chicane. They're coming around the last corner now. They're both on mediums. Walterby's also on mediums because he was on softs. Oh my god, I think they will overtake him, but it's so close! Oh my god! Did they manage to do it? Oh my god! They just overtook him! It's half a second! This finale is absolutely wild. So Walter B losing P1 to Rob and Spooner. Professor Nick in P5, and Castro just overtook Esquivel because he's coming into the pits again for fresh mediums. Maybe he had used ones on before that. But we have the Alpine boys now in P6, P7, Williams P5, and P2 at the moment. This race is absolutely wild. It's absolutely wild. There's no other way to put that. Right now, as it stands, Williams still would be Constructors Champion. Spooner gets 20 points. Nick gets, I think, 12 points. So that's 32. Sebastian will get, I think, 10 and Casto 8. That's 18. So it's 14 points, and they only need 4.5. But Casto is on softs, Seb on mediums, Nick is on mediums, but has a 3-second time penalty. Spooner is also on mediums, and the safety car is staying out for another lap. So that means it will come in at the end of lap 9, at the beginning of lap 10, which means we have an 8-lap race. And let's see if the softs can hold on to those 8 laps. We have everything to play for. Spooner is probably shitting his pants. He's in a sandwich between P1 and P3. He wants to go for P1, but he doesn't want to be too aggressive to risk anything. Walter B behind has nothing to lose. Zoo himself has nothing to lose. This is absolutely crazy, and Eskimo trying to get the award for the most pit stops in a 25% race going for softs now, and he has to hurry up because the pack is now at the end of sector 1. He's just on the main straight, so he has to hurry up a little bit. I think he will make it, but he still has to hurry up a little bit. Monman P9, Moshe in P8, the first one to catch up to the pack, and he will be there within the next 5 to 10 seconds. As you can already see them going into the left-right section in Sector 2. So we already had a pretty dramatic moment between an Alpine and Williams in this race. Nick and Castor fought for position. Castor with the dive bomb, they touched, and then Nick went for the left-hander, and Castor was still kind of on the inside. He touched Nick's rear wheel, and Nick spun. Castor got damage from that, and Nick spun round. End result is Castor pitted twice, first for mediums with the wing change, and then behind the safety car on fresh softs. Nick is in P5 on mediums with a penalty, and Spooner in P2 on mediums without a penalty. And the safety car is coming in on this lap, and Rob, oh, he wanted to accelerate, but he completely fucked it. And Spooner is right there. He smelled that. He smelled that badly. That was like a bad fish in a cupboard. He just smelled that. And Walter B is very close. Oh my god, it's so tight. Oh my god, what's about to happen? Nothing's changing for the moment. Oh, and Castor's attacking Nick around the outside. Oh my god, not again this battle. Not again. Oh, Nick is defending on the inside. Castor trying to go around the outside. Side by side. I'm not surprised if Nick pushes him just wide on track. Oh my god, still down the inside. Nick defending. Oh my god, let's go. Oh my god, it's so fucking tight between those two. And Castor is just going for it. He's going for broke. Mumrum's out. Sector 2. Is that another safety car? Will that bring everyone in Castro and Nick fighting at the same corner again. Castro off track. Not overtaking Nick for the moment. Oh my god. My heart rate is up. And Nick has to be really careful. He needs to stay with Professor Zoo in the DRS. Otherwise, he's pretty much fucked, to say the least. And Professor Zoo himself, he's going for Walter now. Spooner's not going for Rob. 8 tenths between them. Not manageable. And Castro is still there. But he's staying behind now. Professor Zoo fighting Walter B. That gives Nick the chance to catch up a little bit. And Castro is still there, trying to go around the outside. Backing off. He's just waiting for a mistake by Nick. And there he was, maybe. Side by side into the left-hander. Oh, Nick down the inside, going deep, but just making the corner, leaving enough space for Castro, but just enough. They're still side by side over the curb. They're still side by side, but Castro has him now. All hopes on Spooner to stay in the top 3, and Nick just has to stay there. He just has to stay there and finish the race in P5 or P6. If he's right behind Castro, everything's fine. As long as Spooner is in front. Oh, Spooner just spun! Oh my god! Spooner's out of this race! This is high drama. It's another safety car. And Nick will come in. Nick will come in for softs. Come in, boy! He's coming in for fresh softs. Oh my god. We have absolute drama here. It's absolute drama. Nothing else. Spooner in P2 for Williams in the fight for the Constructors' Championship just DNF'd on lap 11. Nick now of course last. Well, he's not last, I think. Yeah, Mosha's still behind, so Nick is in P7. But he's on mediums. Why is Nick on mediums? Why in this world is Nick on mediums? I don't get it. So this mixes the whole championship up again. Walter B P2, Professor Zoo P3. Outside the chances for Professor Zoo to get the title in the Constructors. Castro P4, Seb P5, Nick P7. Right now, Alpine is Constructor Champion. And we still have 5.5 laps to go. It's not over yet. This is one of the craziest races I've watched in Einstein ever. So much at stake. So much pressure. Oh, Professor Zoo faking the pit stop. But man. Oh, Seb is coming in. Seb is coming in for soft. Good decision. They can split it here. Nick is coming around the chicane now. I think he has to pit. He has to pit for softs. I don't know what he did there immediately. He's staying out. What are you doing? Oh, no, he has to stop. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. It's over. Yeah, Nick retired. It's over. Williams just threw the whole championship away at Spain. And that was what I was talking about earlier on the formation lap. This race is either spin or pain. And for Williams, it's pain all over. Both cars DNF within 2 laps. The spin by Spooner causing pain for him and his team. The drive-through for Nick causing even more pain for Williams, and it's over. The championship is over for Williams. It's absolute drama. It's absolute drama. And the Alpines are now on P4 and P6. They just have to bring it home. Even if they both DNF, they are champions. But we still have Professor Zoo in the shit mix. Castro's just overtaken Professor Zoo. Okie dokie. You can do that. And if Professor Zoo somehow manages to win that race and the Alpines fuck it up, I don't want to think about it. It's still a possibility. Safety cars coming in. Late call. Nice one. Rob not accelerating yet, but there's the white line. So they can go now, and they're going now. No overtakes at the front. Also not at the back. Mosher with 3-second time penalty. Casto almost hitting Zoo there, side by side now. And the next Alpine is also going through. I think Professor Zoo's defending from there on the inside, but Sebastian is through for the moment. Oh, banging wheels. So that's also it for Haas in the Constructors' Championship. The other Alpine just managed to get him also out of there. It's a bit harsh when I say it like that, but it's really unfortunate if you keep in mind that Castor was responsible for 1 or 2 collisions with Nick, which resulted in wing damage for Castor and the spin for Nick. And now the spin by Professor Zoo against Sebastian there. But the stewards will deal with that in the incident report as long as incidents are reported, of course. Otherwise, we can't review anything. But for the moment, that means that Alpine is in P3 and P4. Sorry, P2 and... Oh no, P3 and P4. And P2 and P4. Because Castor just overtook Walterby. Rob is on medium, so he will probably be easy meat for Castor. And Mosher had a little spin there. He's down to P7 now. Well, he's still on track. Green flags again. Professor Zoo up to P6. And we now have a fight for the win between Rob and Casto. And you never know what's about to happen. We still have 3 laps to go. Oh, Casto was faking the overtake. And then he was actually going for it after backing off for once. You can just see that he has way more grip than Rob. Big advantage for him, the tyres right now. Especially after the second safety car. He bumps into him again. There's a lot of contact today between Castor and his opponents. The inside Rob is defending from it. Oh, Castor trying to go around the outside. Rob is defending the line. Sebastian overtook Walterby. That's a podium for Alpine right now. They're on cloud 9 as it seems. And it's the penultimate lap, lap 16 of 17. Castor's faking the overtake but staying behind now. Sebastian is closing. Oh, he touched Rob again. There's a little bit too much of wheel banging and touching going on there. Eskimo closing in to Walterby, and they will all have the DRS now on Rob in P1. Oh, yellow flag, sector 3, that is Mosher, and we're going on to the last lap. Rob is weaving all over the track. Oh my god, they touched again! Oh my god! And that's probably damage to Castor's wing. Because that was a huge impact, you could just see that. That was a biggie. Seb is going around the outside. Oh, that was a little bit too much going on the grass. And losing 2 positions against Walter and Eskimo. who had a beautiful recovery here in Spain after pitting maybe 7 times. So what are you doing, mate? What are you doing? It's the fucking commentator's curse. Why are you people doing that? Oh, Sebastian with a time penalty now. Yeah, but it doesn't change anything. Castro is in P1, Rob in P2, Walter be P3. Oh, see you later, Rob. He goes into the wall, loses his wing. They're all gifting Alpine now the good positions. Professor Zoo will probably take him. Yeah, that's P4. He almost spun there. And Castro is going round the last corner to seal the deal for Alpine. Of course, without any incidents reported, without any fastest laps or Codemasters or community driver of the days in here, fastest lap goes to Castro and the win goes to Castro. Walter B P2, Sebastian in P3, Professor Zoo gets back to P4, Rob P5, Eskimo finishes in P6 and Moshe in P7. And we had a lot of DNFs, to say the least. Hugely dramatic race. That was pure drama. And a lot of pain was involved. A lot of spins were involved. A lot of pain, a lot of touching, a lot of wheel banging. It was really a lot. Like, the nerves were completely done. All these boys went to the complete and absolute limit. Walter B, with his good friend Consistency, again on the podium, together with both Alpines. They seal the deal in the Constructors' Championship with a P1 by Castro and P3 by Sebastian. These are final results. Professor Zoo finishes in P4, Rob in P5, Eskimo P6, and Moshe in P7. Nick, Spooner, Murman, Durdan, and Ticunia, they all DNF'd from this race. 5 DNFs, and the most painful ones for both Williams, who were in beautiful positions to claim the Constructors' title. But then everything went south. That's how it is sometimes in racing. It's hugely painful and emotional, but yeah, it is what it is, to say it like that. I want to thank everyone who has been tuning in during the whole season, who has been putting comments out, giving me feedback on the streams. Thank you very much, boys and girls, for just watching. It's all I'm going after. I'm not going for subscribers or any of that shit. Just having some entertainment, watch these guys race, and have some beautiful racing and fights here. I think we saw that during the season. It was a very, very exciting season, with the Constructors' title decided in this last race here at Spain, and the Drivers' title just decided last week in favor of Professor Zoo. And that was a huge season for Einstein, season 5. And now it's already finished. So that means we will have a little season break, probably of around 3 weeks. So everyone can just relax a little bit, get some practice in for the next season. And then we start all over in a few weeks' time to go for another run on the Drivers' and Constructors' Championship in season 6. Thank you all very much. Stay safe, stay healthy. That's the most important thing. And have a good night. Take care.